running this morning with Valley Volcanoes taking on West Wales Phoenix. North West Fury have taken on City Flames. Power Sparks have met Southeast Blaze. And Northeast Inferno have just beaten Coastal Heat. So every team has now played once. And the second round of games are about to begin, with West Wales Phoenix taking on City Flames. Joining me in the commentary box is Kerry Almond and also now Caitlin Jones, our MVP from last year. Caitlin, you are not in a netball dress.
No, sadly not this year.
Sadly not this year.
No.
What happened?
Playing in a current competition, and I've gone over and I've torn my ACL and meniscus, so I'm out for a bit now.
Out for a little bit now.
Absolutely gutted.
We all know how bad that can be. We all know the dreaded 3 letters ACL.
Yeah, I think you count yourself very, very lucky as a netball if you escape without doing your ACL. So obviously just wishing you the best in your rehab and recovery. It's a long process, but I'm sure you'll, like every other player before, you'll come back 10 times stronger than you were before. So just keep plugging away at your rehab, and I'm sure we'll see you back next year.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I did it when I was 17, so I'm part of the ACL club. So it is quite an exclusive club, so don't you worry about that.
Yeah.
So Caitlin will be joining us for the commentary for this game of West Wales Phoenix. Let's go through the starting sevens. Phoenix then, Nikki Howells in goalkeeper, Nell Edwards in goal defence, Ellie Mae Austin in wing defence, Anna White in centre, Emma Roberts wing attack, Ella Wainwright in goal attack, and Rachel Griffiths in goal shooter. And in the yellow dresses on the right-hand side, City Flames, goalkeeper Katie Darlow, goal defence Carrot Allen, wing defence Jill Morgan, centre Elise Hayward, wing attack Harriet Skinner, goal attack Sarah Bell, and goal shooter Tasha Charles. Umpiring this game for us is Becky Rowland and Anne Burt-Williams. Here we go. West Wales Phoenix searching for their first win of the tournament. And City Flames hoping to continue and take their second win, with Caris Allen going up for that shot. Wonderful reach from her. And the first turnover goes to City Flames. Caitlin, goal defence, your position, also playing wing defence.
Yeah.
So that we gave you MVP last year because of how many balls you turned over, how many balls you were taking in the air. How important is that first turnover of the game?
I think super important, not just for it lifts the whole morale of the team, especially when you get that first turn. Everyone is just wanting to bring that back to goal, and it can change the mood from so low to so high in just a split second.
Absolutely, and that's what's happened here for City Flames. They have powered down the court. Tash Charles, first shot for her, and sinks that one in to make the score 2-0. So we spoke last time when the Flames were playing Northwest Fury about how defence needs to come off the body there. So you want that to see that now. That's what the best option to do with Charles, with that beautiful turn as she just did.
Yeah, I'd love to see the defence actually just getting off the body, especially sitting off the back and actually giving yourself room to run at that and get up and challenge it off the body. But if Tasha's going to throw in them rolls a little bit, then she's definitely mixing it up for this defence, and they're going to have something else to think about. Obviously, Sarah was listening to our conversation earlier about it, so she's told Tasha to do a little bit more moving, but she definitely is already. Maybe it's the deep heat.
Maybe it is the deep heat that's now settled in to Tash Charles' muscles. Those creaky joints have now loosened.
I definitely think you're right, and you've got to come off the body on that hold. Try and confuse the space as well for that when that feed comes in, and just hope that you're going to force the error.
Yeah, it's just about confusing the space, confusing where the feeder's going to put the ball with such a tall shooter in there. But she's just changed the game so far a little bit, so we'll see if she continues that or if she does go back to just holding.
Well, as Ella Wainwright gets another chance at this. Katie Darlow comes away with the rebound. And City Flames seem to be in acres of space. Almost something Inferno-like about their play then through the court.
Yeah, it was a really, really good middle punch up the middle from Harriet Skinner. It just allowed then Sarah Bell to sit a little bit deeper and just got the ball through the court at extraordinary speed.
So as we were talking to Sarah Bell earlier, she did say that sometimes their speed was too quick for the ball. And as we were talking earlier, we said something that Northeast do really well is nothing seems to phase them, and their control through the court is really well. Is that something that you feel when you're on court?
Yeah, definitely. I think sometimes we can go a bit too fast for ourselves too. We do get told at quarter times you've got to slow it down, but the twins, they just sometimes playing fast is the best way for them to.
The twins seem to have some sort of telepathy and know where each other are at all times, which
Yeah.
is something I've always been in awe of. As did Sarah Bell, they knew exactly where Tash was, under the post. Lovely calling by Darlow and Allen.
Oh, great
And
tip.
a great take. Lovely outside arm tip there from Allen.
Yeah, she got her feet round and just managed to get that shoulder through so it didn't look like contact. So excellent footwork there. But also just really impressed there with the talking from Rachel Griffiths. She literally looked at someone and went, no, do not give me the ball. And sometimes your shooter just needs to do that because sometimes the centre court just want to get the ball in. And she's like, no, I don't want it yet.
Absolutely. It's quite important as a shooter to be able to control your circle, isn't it?
Which
to
is something
say
that
when you want it.
Tasha Charles is doing that really well. Like, I'm actually enjoying seeing her move around a little bit. Maybe that's just due to wants to try and avoid some of the extra bruises that she might get in this game.
She does command the circle, and then it's a battle of who commands it better, you or a defender. Elise Hayward pulled up for contact there. Good option by Anna White not to force that over the top of Katie Darlow, knowing that Karis Allen has that reach to also come across.
Yeah, this Flames defence is not especially tall, but they're very rangy. And I'm enjoying watching them use their footwork to get round. They're not just relying on that as well, and they're working quite well together as well.
They are working very well together. A lot of these Flames players play together in clubs down in Cardiff and in the Swansea League. Very well aware of each other's style of play. And I've grown up playing with the same players as most of you have as well. Especially you guys in Northeast in the D-side and Mould area.
Yeah, I think it's really helpful when we come to these competitions that a lot of us do play together in club. Because the connection, and we've already got the units that work so well together. And this year we're lucky to have Gina and Evie, who play in defence in D-side.
Absolutely does help when you're already a settled squad. 11-2 then is currently the score here at the moment for City Flames, with that power ball in from Sarah Bell to Tash Charles to make it 12. 10 goals now, the lead from City Flames. A much better start to them this year in comparison to last season, as Sarah Bell was telling us earlier. Do you see a difference in them this year, Caitlin?
I definitely think their defence looks really strong. They're moving their feet around the body really nicely and getting loads of tips and turnovers. And their communication looks really good as well.
Very much a different team, City Flames, this year than they were last year. Speed of hands and feet. Nikki Howells called there for obstruction as Tash Charles turns towards the post. What's currently Phoenix's biggest downfall and how the style they're playing?
They're getting the ball through to circle edge really nicely. I think it's the shooting circle that is letting them down a little bit at the moment. Like, they're struggling to actually get the ball in, and then when they are getting it in, their shooting percentages are probably not as high as we would want them to be. I am actually quite surprised that they've started with this shooting circle and they've not started with Ellie Grant, who had such a strong game in the first game. So maybe that's something they'll need to look at after this one.
Absolutely, yeah, I think I agree. Ellie Grant had like an incredible game in the first quarter, but she maybe is on the short side. And knowing, I don't know if Phoenix are going for that taller shooting circle, knowing Ella Wainwright is a taller goal attack. But Ellie Grant is a lot more of a moving shooter as well.
Yeah, and I think that might kind of counteract this defense as well a little bit. It'll just give them something else to think about. Like they'll know that they've not just got that one person that's kind of going to hold them and post up a little bit. So yeah, just give them something else to think about. And it can't be anything, harder than dealing with what they're going through at the moment. This is a very high scoring first quarter.
Well, maybe something for head coach Nicola Roberts to think about for West Wales Phoenix quarter time. I think Nicola Roberts has almost all of the experience on her bench with assistant coaches Wendy Lewis and Helen Thomas. Both been coaches for probably 30, 40 years, maybe a combination of 70 years between them.
That is definitely incredible.
Incredible coaching experience on the West Wales Phoenix bench.
Ooh. That's a call you don't hear very often. Inevitable contact. It just means that the goalkeeper and goal defence have sandwiched the shooter so much that when she tries to move, she's going to contact them regardless. So notes to defences out there. Ensure there's a little bit of room for movement.
Ensure you have to leave some space. Sarah Bell working more as a wing attack at the moment on the court. Instead of maybe a goal attack, she's just letting Tash Charles take the ball and doing all this, but working as a wing attack in and out of the circle. Is that difficult for you as a goal defence?
It can be, because sometimes you don't know where to place yourself. Do you go and double mark the shooter, or do you come out and then stay on your goal attack? Because what ends up happening is you double mark the goal shooter and the goal attack can play themselves in. So it's a confusing one. It definitely messes up your head as a defender.
Well, Sarah Bell is definitely working hard to do that. Well, a short break in between those two quarters for us as I return to the court. West Wales Phoenix and City Flames on for the second quarter. And straight away, that first interception again. Katie Darlow for City Flames, reading that one like a book.
That timing on that was brilliant.
Just scanning the court for you for changes.
That's probably not the most ideal ball to give. She was sandwiched between two defenders, but I also think that in that situation, if the umpire has not called it, just get on, defend, and help your team out. There's no point remonstrating with the ref and having a go because you've lost the ball and you're not going to get it back.
Absolutely. Well, the changes that we do see are for West Wales Phoenix. We did maybe call a change in the shooting circle, and we do have one, but it's not Ellie Grant. It is Delith Jones in at shooter for West Wales Phoenix, and Jessica Thomas comes on to wing defence. City Flames just playing the ball around. A lovely triangle work there for Tarbell. To Elise Hayward as Charles puts the ball in the net. Tactical change now. Coach, Captain Sarabel comes off and Zoe Stapley comes on. Previous UAE player, as we were just talking with Simone Gould. Grew up in Dubai and represented UAE. So Sarabel getting to rest her legs a bit now. With an advantage like this in your score system, would you expect maybe just to bring in some changes to feed them in?
Yeah, I think so. Given that obviously the quarters are quite short as well, you may as well. I was going to say rest legs, but there's no more games after this. But this is probably an opportunity for Flames now to try out different combinations for the next games that they've got coming up. Have a look at what they probably need to work on within combos. And just see what works really well for them. That
lovely,
was beautiful.
Lovely, quick hands, quick feet front between
brilliant.
Zoe Stapley and Harriet Skinner. And Tash Giles watching it all and taking the glory ball at the end. As us shooters do, take all the glory. I did ask Kerry this question as well, but do you prefer marking a static shooter or a moving shooter?
Oh, I personally prefer a moving shooter, mainly because I'm not tall enough for a static shooter to get up for the
But you're also a goal defender,
ball.
so you run around anyway more than I do. I prefer the more static, but that's because I don't like running.
Yeah, I agree with you there, I think. I don't like running either. I am the static shooter.
So I'll
Oh,
mark you.
brilliant. Tip.
Beautiful tip.
That was perfect timing. She really nailed that one.
She did nail that tip.
But then I think Elise Howard was just off balance on that one and just couldn't get it through.
Casey Zalo's hard work is brought back. Can she do it again? No, but Karis Allen will give it a go. Elise Hayward in plenty of space. And the City Flames defence bringing the ball up. But Zoe Stapley there looking for another option, but Elise Hayward was marked by two players. So where was that other option available there? There was no one really other one for Zoe Stapley to pass to?
No, I think sometimes as well, just slow it down, look back and reset it on the transverse line to your defence. You know, there's no rush. Just keep possession of the ball.
Well weighted there from Skinner to give that right ball. As Anna White.
Yeah, I think
Brilliant
she
pressure
just
from
wanted
defence.
to offload that one to the goal shooter, but I think she saw Kate Tadalo coming through and she was just too off balance to be able to keep her feet where they should be. This is why I'm a big proponent of staying on 2 feet.
Absolutely a massive fan of staying on 2 feet. That we often see that one step as if it's going to give us an advantage. But as we've just seen, Phoenix lose the ball. Yet to score in this quarter are Phoenix. And a lovely little run from Zoe Stapley. And a wonderful shot.
I think that's why you can't just double onto a tall shooter, especially if you've got a goal attack that can actually shoot. You have to have someone that can play off onto them. And in that situation where she's running from one side of the court to the other, it's got to be the back defender to play onto that. You never want your front defender to move off the post. I think Phoenix just need to work out what they're doing in that circle, because dropping to Tasha Charles on that just isn't working for them.
Absolutely. And as we are speaking of Phoenix, a tactical change on for them with Ellie J. Jones coming into that centre position. Another one who put her bib upside down. I think they might be looking down at the bib and seeing that is the correct way, because Elise Hayward did exactly the same thing when she came on in that first game for City Flames.
It's the adrenaline. You just want to get on.
You just want to get on. And Anne Williams advanced the penalty due to wing attack Emma Roberts throwing the ball away.
Little bit of dress pulling there as well. New sneaky tactic, but it didn't work.
A little bit of dress pulling. Oh, Tash Charles wanted that ball a little bit quicker, but it still worked from Zoe Stapley.
I'd just really like to see everyone, when they're coming through court, turning. At the moment, a lot of players are quite happy to just land the ball facing the sideline and just stay there, but it's not going to shift the defenders and you can't see what's coming. So just turn fully, sight all the options, and then you can play to that lateral option.
Karis Allen again on that rebound, denying West Wales Phoenix their first goal of this quarter. Oh, Tash Charles shakes off Nikki Howells, who goes running into the post. And umpire Becky Rowlands has called time just to secure the post, as they did almost go flying backwards. We do have weights on the backs of these posts to make sure they don't fall. And as Becky Rowland restarts the game, Tash Giles has no problem recommencing a shot. Ever ran into the post, Caitlin?
Too many times.
Surely you should get your bearings and know where they are, like Tash Giles does. Exactly that. Ellie J. Jones now injecting a bit of pace into West Wales Phoenix play, maybe?
Yeah, let's just see if it does work, 'cause at the moment, they're really, really struggling to get this ball through. So extra speed is great, but it has to be with control.
And there is their first goal of the quarter by Ella Wainwright, with almost a minute and a half to go.
And that was a really, really good front position there from Nikki Howell. She got her feet round, got her shoulder through, and just managed to tip the ball away and get the contact call as well. So that was excellent work.
Exactly what was needed against a shooter like Tash Charles. A bit of tunnel vision there from Wainwright to want to give that ball to Dallas Jones. She's not confident in her shot at that range. Are you more of a keep your shooter out defender, or do you just...
I think it depends on the player, really. If they're quite nippy and fast, you want to keep them out the day, because it can be really hard to keep up with them when they're in then.
Absolutely agree.
This little battle at the back here between Tasha and Nikki Howell is getting a little bit spicy, and I'm quite enjoying it. I don't think Tasha is enjoying what Nikki Howell is doing to her. She's really kind of bodying up to her now, but she is kind of doing it cleanly, but she does not like it.
Well, Tasha Charles is one of the feistier players. And she is known for arguing with an umpire many a times. But West Wales still can't capitalise on the buzzer. And they scored 2 in that quarter as they take to the bench for half-time with the score standing at 30 goals to 7. Welcome back to game number 5.
Round 1
Here of Bangor.
we are Wales Phoenix take on
City Flames.
and currently Flames are
Absolutely dominating
this game, 37 as West Wales ready
to start the third quarter.
quarter. We are looking for
For the changes on the court, and what
see is making an impact
already is Ellie Grant,
she has taken on to the goal attack
the goal attack position.
and Ella Wing
Ellie Austin has moved.
Centre into goal defence.
Nell Edwards
Has moved into goal.
Ellie J. Jones.
Is it the centre? Almost a brand new team.
Brand new team setup for West Wales
Phoenix for City Flames.
or City Flames. They have
Charlotte Lewis in that goal attack with Tash Charles
still staying there.
strong under the post as goal shooter.
Goal shooter.
Zoe Bennett comes off as goal defence as
Caris Allen takes to the bench.
for a well-deserved rest. Thoughts on the change?
Thoughts on the changes, Kerry?
Yeah, not surprised to see so many changes.
They can afford to again test
Those combos out ahead.
from Phoenix. I think
For them, it's all about to build on what
they've already done,
and just their goal difference
the goal difference maybe key come
at the end of the league. So they do need to actually
start making use
the centre passes.
Phoenix.
How I lose their possession. As Ella right, Ellie Golds
Who again shot
falls short. Caitlin Bennett was
almost picked up for
replayed ball there.
I had thought about it, but
I think
yeah, I think just leave that one.
Jessica Taylor's a lovely little tip. Just to knock the ball away from Charlotte Lewis's hands.
I know he didn't there from Dojo.
That was great.
That was great vision.
Lovely piece of play
by West Wales
Phoenix to tell us show what are capable of.
And Katie Darlow
Comes through, steal that ball right back.
really well, and she set off early.
She vision for one player, so
You know,
Katie Darlow was where that one in my hands.
Elise Hayward knew where she
wanted to plant that ball.
knew where the space was. Tash Charles
Just didn't quite
turn to get there. Tash
I would come off the body of my goal attack and get my hands up over the ball and put more pressure on that feed coming in from outside.
Top tips from our resident MVP. Nell Edwards coming around the body really cleanly there.
and that's what we've been talking about all day, about getting off the body and moving your feet. And because she started behind Tash Charles, it made it look like the nice flat early feed could go in, and she just worked her feet beautifully and came through with a clean two-handed intercept.
Very nice work from Nell Edwards. Nell is on her first season back after ACL.
Oh, that's good
So
to
there
know.
you go. Also part of the ACL club. A lot of players back from injury this season. There's a player at Coastal Heat that got injured in the first game last season and absolutely smashed it this year. Katie Darlow just telling Caitlin Bennett that she's got it.
She's got it and just kept both her feet on the floor, didn't even need to jump for that rebound. Also being way too nice there in the middle of the game. She got pulled for obstruction, then patted Ella Wainwright on the back to say, apologise. You're in the middle of the game. What happens in a game, it happens in a game. Apologise afterwards. You're only obstructing. It's fine.
These two do play, a lot of these girls play together in leagues across South Wales, but, you know, if you don't want to be that nice on court, that's up to you, Kerry.
If I've like flattened someone, fair enough. If I'm obstructed,
fair
I'm not
enough.
apologising for obstructing. Oh, if your shooter's out the circle, give her the ball on the first one. They don't come out there very often. And she probably should have been pulled for contact there. She just absolutely flattened Jess Thomas on the circle edge.
Tash Charles, don't run for it, don't stop for nobody.
Getting away with murder.
She is getting away with murder. She does what she wants.
Oh.
Nell Edwards spotted that ball, but her timing was just off. That was unlucky. Great vision, though.
Yeah, I do think she probably could have released it early. She just hesitated and looked at it for a little bit too long, which gave Nell Edwards the chance of coming out on it, even though her timing was off. So see it, give it, for me.
Do you agree, Caitlin?
Yeah, definitely. As a defender, you want to just basically slow them down and make them think they're free.
Absolutely. Well, West Wales Phoenix have made a tactical change. Ellie J is now into wing attack, and Hayley Lewis-Howell comes on as the centre, and she's put the bib the right way around, which is lovely to see. Oh, and Tash Charles gives Anne Williams a little cheeky smile as she's pulled up for contact against Nell Edwards, the goalkeeper. Not getting away with it this time.
The bench were really pleased about that one.
Beth Proctor.
Just running her feet through on that one, sighting the actual angle and where the ball was going, and ran straight through the line of the ball rather than at the player and picked up that cleanly. That is
Lovely take.
textbook wing defence in step through court.
Textbook indeed, as was Elise Hayward's feed straight into Tash Charles before anyone else even set the penalty. Again, Zoe Stapley absolutely free as a bird as well on that side of the circle. Circle edge available. Lovely running from Ellie Grant, but Wainwright is doubled up by defenders. How do you counteract that? Do you give that ball? Do you reset?
I would have resetted that. She's got two on her. She's got one behind her, one in front of her. Definitely would have passed out. Reset the ball.
Agreed. She looked at it and she kept looking at it, and it was that tunnel vision of not seeing any other option. So look at it. It drags the defenders this way, and then you can open up something else on the other side of the court, or go back to the third line.
Ellie Mae Austin pulled up for contact on Charlotte Lewis. That shot just short, and contact called, going for the rebound. West Wales are getting the opportunities out there to bring that ball down court. And like we said, they are bringing that ball down. It's just they are not able to move the ball from circle edge to conversion.
Yeah, I think they are working it through really, really well. I think that the City Flames defence in that circle at the moment is just absolutely dominating. They're taking the space away. They're forcing the shooters into the same space, and it's just not allowing them to find easy ball in that circle. So whatever Sarah Bella said to them before this game, it's really worked, because I think they've stepped up another level from the last game.
They absolutely have, as they've kept Phoenix down to currently 10 goals, which is only 3 goals difference. And they did notice the buzzer. And Anne Williams says the goal stands due to the contact call from Nell Edwards on Tash Charles, taking the score to 42-10. That is the highest scoring game we've had so far today. A difference of 33 goals in between these two teams.
Yeah, that was
here at the FleetEV National League. It is Game 5, West Wales Phoenix versus City Flames of Cardiff. And the score currently stands at 43 goals to 10. What a score City Flames are putting on this board versus West Wales Phoenix, while shutting down the attack of West Wales Phoenix at the same time. When you see a scoreline like this, Kerry, what if you just saw the scoreline, what would that say to you about what you would expect to see from the game?
I think in half an hour of netball, you would definitely say that the City Flames defence is hot on, as we've just seen a turnover straight away there. I would say that City Flames are definitely on top, and that their defence is probably smothering the Phoenix shooting circle, which they definitely are.
Absolutely. And talking of City Flames, changes for them on the court. Tash Charles takes to the bench for a well-deserved rest, and Neve Morton takes on the goal shooter position. Sarah Bell has moved into wing attack, and Caris Allen moves back into goalkeeper, with Caitlin Bennett sticking on in goal defence. For West Wales, Nikki Howells goes back into the goalkeeper position after Nell Edwards took that contact hit at the end of that last quarter, and Rachel Griffiths comes in to goal shooter.
It's an excellent rebound there, and she managed to just ease it to Neve Morton under the post as well. It's exactly what you want.
Neve Morton, another staple under the post player for City Flames, to give Tash Charles a break.
West Wales are definitely getting the opportunities, but they don't seem to be setting up well enough in the circle for the rebound. Every time it comes back down, they're not bodying up on anyone in the circle. They're just stood under the post, expecting it to come back to them.
Ali Grant not quite comfortable with that shooting distance, but she will shoot from there and just falls short as Caris Allen takes the back line. City Flames play a little bit slower in this last quarter, with Harriet Skinner in the middle as a centre.
They just need someone to punch straight through the middle of the court. At the minute, everyone's hanging back. We're just waiting for the overhead, and it's just City Flames aren't going to let that happen.
That overhead ball will more than likely be taken by one of the defensive players from the back, just watching it. As Charlotte Lewis sinks another goal for City Flames, taking that score to 46-10. But a held ball called for a confused-looking Sarah Bell.
Yeah, I think it was better defence there from Phoenix. They actually did the smothering. They kind of forced the shooters high, and Sarah Bell didn't want to give it, and she stepped in, which then allowed Jess Thomas to obviously shorten the distance, which just allowed to get that held ball. It's just they now have to capitalise off it.
Karis Allen timing that jump for Rachel Griffiths. Does capitalise, as you just said, and puts the first goal of the final quarter in for West Wales Phoenix, taking their total to 11. But Caitlin Bennett is all over that drive from Ellie Grant. Almost stops Ellie Grant in her tracks from driving further.
Yeah, it was really well read, but again, I think Flames forced them to one side of the court, which just meant that they knew where the ball was going to go. When you see the rest of your team is on one side of the court, somebody has to open up the other side just to give that extra option.
Caitlin Bennett again taking that turnover for Flames. Flames shutting down every opportunity Phoenix have to convert to goal. Charlotte Lewis did step into that empty space, so Nikki Howell's well within her right. There you go, Phoenix now a bit more patient on the ball. Happy to play it around a bit more. Ellie Grant asking for the ball, and Lewis Howell urging her to keep going backwards as she sinks her first goal of this quarter.
It all just feels a little bit too easy for Flames. Even on the through court, there's not a whole heap of defensive pressure from Phoenix. Looking at that ball just went through Niamh Morton's hands, but they need to step up a bit defensively if they do want to try and put a few extra goals on this board, because like you said, goal difference may become so important at the end of this.
Absolutely, because currently they are racking up a big goal difference, City Flames. Karis Allen really wanting to tip that shot, isn't she? She is timing that jump very well. If she waited an extra half a second, she would either get a held ball or a tip.
That was a lovely feed in there for Rachel Griffiths. Just had enough airtime on that ball to get through.
The goal shooter, goal attack combination now for Phoenix is really working nicely. Goal shooter is pulling out of the circle, it's drawing out the defence, leaving the D open for the goal attack.
So working a lot more smoothly for Phoenix in that attacking side as City Flames make a tactical change. Charlotte Lewis is now in at goal shooter, and Zoe Stapley is back on at goal attack as Niamh Morton takes to the bench. Caitlin Bennett pulled the contact as Ellie Grant sinks another shot for Phoenix. This is better from Phoenix. They have put more goals on the board this quarter than they have in any other quarter so far.
Yeah, they've started this quarter really, really strong. Like you said, I think this combination's working really well for them. Just have to be careful when goal shooter is coming out the circle that she's not running into the line of where the goal defence is coming in like that one. Caitlin Bennett read that really well, went on that diagonal drive and just shut her off and managed to get a hand to ball. And finished off beautifully.
Zoe Stapley, lovely shooting from her in that goal attack position. And a lovely turn and feed into Charlotte Lewis. Beautiful play by both shooters there. Shooter-to-shooter combo. Lovely work. City Flames really showing the depth of their bench now to show they can put on a lot of these players and take off Tasha Charles and still have this kind of combination to continue on the game, right?
Yeah, definitely. For them now, in the last couple of minutes of this game, it is just about solidifying those combos or looking at what they can do in different games to counteract different styles of defences. So I think that's why we're seeing so many different shooting combos, because I think they recognise that they've got some tough defences to play up against in like Northeast Inferno. That's going to be a tough defence for them to play against. So what have they got that can counteract that? So I think they're using this game really, really well. They're still getting the goal difference, but they're working out what actually can be utilised for them in the games ahead.
And if you're Phoenix now, knowing that you've lost this game with this much level, would you be doing the same? Would you then be working at your combos? Would you be utilising this time as well to think about the other games that you've got ahead?
Yeah, I would probably do the same. It's also about maybe giving some players a bit more court time as well. But again, definitely seeing what combinations work well together, what they can actually do. Like I'm enjoying watching the shooting combo, and it's what they can do against other defences again, a bit like City Flames.
Absolutely agree. And Rachel Griffiths there unfortunately pulled for a replay ball as she balanced on the ball and rolled it to herself to pick it up.
Yeah, if you're going to balance on the ball, you have to stop the ball dead, and then you can pick it up. But if you roll it, it's still classed as moving, so it then would go down as a replay ball. So a good decision from the umpire.
There we are. Lovely
Not just
decision.
saying that because she stood right in front of us, but it was a good decision.
Very experienced Amber Williams. Oh, Beth Proctor saw that but pulled out just in time before she took out Jessica Thomas completely. Is it as important to know when to go for ball as it is to when not to go for ball, Caitlin?
Yeah, definitely. You know, if you're going to go too late, then you're taking out the player. You're giving away that penalty, but you go too early and you've left someone completely free.
Absolutely. Well, a bit scrappy there from Flames moving through the court. No one knew who was going for what ball. And Harriet Skinner late on that contest. 15 seconds left on the clock then, and the score is 48-15. 5 goals scored so far by Phoenix in this quarter. Ellie Grant maybe makes it 6, hoping. Makes it 6 goals.
Good shot.
Apologies there, Ellie, if you had fallen to the commentator's curse. 48-16 final score then here of West Wales Phoenix versus City Flames. Well,
Phoenix actually won that last quarter.
they did. They absolutely did.